I've given you a sample of the application that was just put out for our spring grades. Membership in CSF is based on the qualifying grades at the end of each semester. So it's semester grades only. So the first semester membership is always based on the grades they got the previous June. The spring semester is based on the grades that they get in December. There is a membership window. There's a timeline. You have a certain amount of time that you can apply for CSF. And it usually begins the second week that school starts in the fall. Then they have 21 days to apply. After the 21st day, if they don't turn in an application, the window is closed and they're not eligible to apply again until the following semester. In order to graduate, at the distinctions at Sweetwater High School, if you are a CSF seal bearer, meaning you attained at least 4 semesters of membership, one of which must be when you're a senior, you are extended the opportunity to graduate in a white gown, and then you get your CSF honors, which are the gold cords of what they call knowledge, and the CSF medallion, your lifetime membership pin, your tassel with the CSF drop, 2 certificates, and then the gold seals that go on your diploma and on your college transcripts that indicate you are the highest level scholars in the state of California. It's a really very nice honor. And then they are also recognized at graduation. They get to march in first. They're seated at the beginning of the graduation. They are also asked to stand and be acknowledged by the audience and their peers. So let's look quickly at the application.
I also want to share why the principal couldn't be here today. Unfortunately, there was a death in the family. Her stepfather passed away. I just want you to know that our principal is extremely dedicated to this school, and as a matter of fact, the following day she showed up, and we begged her, just go home, be with your family. So I just wanted to mention why, I'm speaking in place of her for today. Okay, just moving on to the questions, and then I'll answer the questions as best that I can. If I don't have an answer for you, or I can't provide a clear answer, I'll let you know and I'll get back to you on that. Okay, so we have some questions already, and then I'll open up. Okay, so first one here, it says varsity girls coach, rude to girls ? So it was, I believe, last week that there was an incident that was reported regarding our varsity girls soccer coach, and perhaps the use of language, specifically the use of language and the way he was communicating with the girls. So I did meet with the soccer coach, Coach Alcala, last week. I also spoke to several girls on his team to find out, okay, what type of language is being used. And I addressed the matter with him. There was a choice word being used that was confirmed with the girls, and we discussed that. Like I said, I spoke to him, and I got his reassurance that he will not be using that type of language with any of our students, and it's not what we want to model here. It's not what we accept. So, like I said, I did meet with him, and there wasn't any write-up or anything like that, but it was a warning and it was documented. So he understands that, and of course we'll continue, to watch his behavior. My thing as an assistant principal that oversees athletics is I want to protect the experience of our students. So I want our students to be able to have the same positive experiences that they would have at any other school. Okay. Moving on, the Inferno launch PDA, that I'm unsure if there's a parent here who asked about that.
The principal calls PDA when the kids are hugging all together. That's what she calls PDA.
Okay.
So I've been seeing her going around the school. If she sees kids together, she calls their attention and says, don't be doing that.
Yes.
After school, I've been going through the fair lunch, and I see a lot of couples there.
Oh.
Nobody goes after school to the fair lunch.
I see.
I mean, it looks like that's the room where they meet.
Okay.
I mean, a lot.
Okay.
And after school, even you go through the whole school, after school, you
Yes.
see them everywhere. I mean,
Okay.
is it only during school time or after school they don't care what they do at school?
No. The rules apply the entire time. I know sometimes right outside of my area in the ASB, right, I'll have a couple and I go, you guys can hang out here. I know you guys want to be with each other, but you're still in school. So the rules always apply. So that includes skateboards, students riding bikes. In first semester, we were having a problem with that. And our campus supervisors are here, I believe, till 3:30. And then we always have administrators that have supervision for sports. So that also includes supervising our campus, right? But it's something that I can definitely bring up in the administration meeting.
I asked
to
Ms.
address
Gavin
that.
about security after school. And she goes that it was only the coach. There's a soccer coach, their practice from 5 to 7.
Yes.
And she said the only security here after that, it was just the coach. I mean, the coach is on that side.
No. That was in the context. So the question that was understood, or it was interpreted as, when it comes to sports, right? And say you have a team that's practicing, whether it's, depending the season, volleyball, football, baseball, whatever the sport is, who's in charge of supervising those students? And then their immediate supervisor is the coach. Yes, ma'am.
Una pregunta, ¿sí nos podría dar una explicación o más o menos? Está corriendo por el YouTube un video de aquí de la escuela, que una mamá de familia hizo una denuncia que su hija ha sido golpeada
Sí.
ya varias veces y abusada por su novio aquí mismo en la escuela.
Que la escuela no se hace responsable.
Sí.
¿Cómo no se va a hacer responsable si supuestamente nosotros dejamos a los niños y quedamos confiados que están, que los están cuidando, vigilando?
Sí.
Es imposible cuidar a tantos, ¿verdad? Pero me imagino que cómo no se va a hacer responsable la escuela y salen las noticias.
Yes. Okay. So this, the question was regarding a video that I think it was on Channel 10 News, if I'm not mistaken, a couple weeks ago, right? And there's also a YouTube video, I guess, that was published.
Ni aviso ni nada para que nosotros, tan siquiera nos enteremos. Nuestras hijas no nos quieren decir nada de lo que pasa aquí.
Okay. So I have to be very careful with what I talk about because there's confidentiality issues here. So there's certain details that I can't reveal, but what I can say though is that a lot of what was reported was one person's point of view. With that particular student, administration has continuously worked to make sure that this student is protected, and there's other sides that weren't published to that story. And so I want to say that from our end, we debriefed on it. We talked about what's going on with that situation. Like I said, a lot wasn't reported, and then I can't report because I have to respect the privacy of the student and other students that were involved. But the parent knows that they have had their options. The parent has chosen to keep the student here. And we continue to work with the parent and the student to make sure that they're safe. And there's several actions that we took to ensure the student's safety. So it's a touchy situation, but what I can say is that one of the biggest, since I've been here, one of the biggest things with Miss Gavin is security and safety. So we make sure that at every area during lunchtime, and this is a difficult school to supervise because there's so many corners and there's so many hidden areas. But we make sure that all areas are covered. We make sure that our campus security assistants are always around and visible in the school. I try and be as visible as possible. And even to address that matter, we've taken on through the ASB a campaign of positivity. If you walk our campus today and you just walk around, you'll see a lot of quotes up that are encouraging a positive culture. And so what we're doing is, we recognize the situation. The videos weren't a good thing. A fight did occur, and we're making sure that we do everything that we can to prevent those types of things from happening. But not only that, we're trying to be even more proactive and pushing this idea of positivity. And we do that through media, in our videos, in our scrolls. We do that through our assemblies, right? There's a project that I'm going to be initiating. It's like a pilot project of certain students that have had some problems with our school, where we're going to start mentoring them. So what I want to communicate to the parents is, no, we acknowledge that, and that was concerning. So there are several steps that we're taking to create a better culture here at Sweetwater High School. And I'm not saying that a negative culture exists, but just to improve on that. Okay. I'm going to go to the next question. Yes, ma'am.
También escuchamos un rumor de que habían traído brownies con marihuana. ¿Es cierto que los niños no sabían y muchos probaron y fueron al hospital? Creo que fue en la clase de militar.
In an ROTC class? Okay, the question was asked that there was a rumor about brownies that were brought to school. As being part of the administration team, I did not hear about that rumor. Did you hear about?
You would have to ask the APs that are in the front office whether it happened or not.
Yeah.
Since we don't deal with discipline, we wouldn't know, but we can check and ask. You said somebody got sick? Somebody, okay.
Pues supe que una niña se había ido al hospital por esa causa.
Okay.
We can ask. Él es-
Yeah, so
But if anything ever does happen, I mean, there's consequences to any action that the students make. So I know that our administration team, the assistant principals, we have 3 in the front office that have different issues that they deal with, and there's always some discipline action taken with students. Now, we don't always have access to that information because we don't deal with discipline.
yeah.
The only thing I know is this is not in regards to the brownies or the misbehavior. I know that somehow one of my daughters, she's in RTC, but because of lack of attendance or poor attendance to the classes, he got suspended. And that was right away after they figured out something of misbehavior from that one. I know there's somehow they may face consequences. I think the father also agree on that he will be suspended for close semester. It has to do with us as parents. Figure out how do we know our kids. I trust in my kid, but I don't trust him to run. But the question is how are we going to protect the ones around?
Yeah.
Well, you need to make mochila search before they
How to
go
protect
out.
the good ones if there's a one misbehaving? So how do we going to know?
If, say, someone were to bring something to school?
Yes.
So, I mean, under federal law, we can't just search students unless we have a suspicion. But we cannot just randomly grab a student's belongings and search. You know, they don't give up their rights at the school gate. And so what we have to rely on is just information that's reported to us and then things that we observe, right? And like Ms. Martinez said, you know, the way our structure is set up is we have 4 APs here. 3 APs are in the front and they're in charge of all the discipline, right? I'm over there and I'm in charge of culture, athletics, right, and other responsibilities. And so we just work on communicating with each other. Like I said, I try to be as visible as I can to observe things that are going on, and then I report it to my colleagues. But we still want to respect our students' rights, you know.
But as far as his parents,
Yeah.
who do we believe the best individual here to go if we suspicious our kids or our kids' friends are in the same issues?
So-
How are they gonna be protected? How is it gonna be safe?
So Mr. Chivas is the assistant principal that's in charge of our safety committee and security, and he thinks that's how he makes his decisions. It's based on security and safety. And he has a committee that he meets with on a regular basis, but that would be the person to report these things to.
Yeah, just to check, because our kids sometimes they don't say at all, or they just don't wanna betray their friends.
Yeah.
They just don't say, no, I'm not gonna say because that could be. It's
Yeah,
my
they don't
friend,
wanna
it's my
snitch.
best buddy.
Yeah.
So they're not gonna say nothing to us. Or they can do an overview of what's going on, but they're not gonna say, I did it, or he did.
Yeah, and I agree with you. At the same time, what's neat is I've also experienced the other thing, and even here, where when students trust adults, they do on campus, and they will come up and tell us and go, "Oh, Mr. Salazar, I think you need to know this. Okay, what's going on?" And they help us out a lot. So, I just want to respond and move on with the questions. But Mr. Chai, this would be somebody to contact. But again, continuing to build relationships and building up the culture here helps with all of that. Because if our students trust the adults on campus, they do come up to us, right, and inform us of these things that, that obviously we can't see at every second. Okay. I had another question here. Why other schools support their soccer team with the scoreboard and we don't? So this option has been given at least to the girls soccer team. So keeping the score, right, and the big old scoreboard out in the football/soccer field, right, that is available. For football and basketball, those are paid positions. So teachers are paid to go out and keep that score. For soccer, it is not. At Olympian, the school that I came from, they kept score, but it was the managers. So it's the team itself, right? The coaches itself that make that decision, and we encourage it, to have a manager or have somebody trustworthy to run the scoreboard, right? And so like I said, I can think of a specific example from another school. It was 2 managers. They would go to the scorer's booth, right? We'd provide the scoreboard for them, and they would have the score up. The soccer coach, the girls' soccer coach is aware of this, so that option is there. Now, another unfortunate thing though, all the rain pretty much destroyed the booth. So right now, no one can be in that booth. So the district is aware of that. They're setting up a timetable to repair our scorer's booth because right now it's condemned. No one is allowed in that booth.
Put in work order already?
Yeah, the district, they came that following Saturday because we reported it and it was destroyed. Soccer boys varsity coach has to let every player on the team play. This is high school, and if they get selected to be on the team, they're supposed to play to get ready for college. I've seen a player that doesn't play all the games, and they make the effort to be there in the practices. So this is something that will always be a touchy subject with sports. I've had experience of this as a coach firsthand, and now as an administrator. So public schools, the stance that we take on extracurricular activities is as follows. We hire a coach and we entrust that coach to run that program, right? And the playing time, he or she does determine that playing time. Why? Because they're there with the players every day. And so we give them that, we entrust them, with that right. Now, parents, we always encourage to communicate with the coach. There's always an open door policy. So perhaps, hey, my son or daughter isn't playing, can I know why? Now, yeah, the parent has every right to do that. And talk to the coach and say, well, here are the reasons why. And sometimes we see somebody not playing and we may not know the reason why they're not playing. So the conversation starts there, right? But we do take the stance of we hire a coach, we trust this coach with our students, right? And we allow them to determine, especially at the varsity level, who plays, how much they play, who doesn't play, etc. With college, and let me say one more thing and then I'll go to you, ma'am. In respect to the college and preparation for college, academically, we do task ourselves to prepare our students for college. With extracurricular, it's about giving them that extracurricular experience and option. Not necessarily, we got to get them ready for that next level. I do have to be transparent about that. Yes, ma'am.
Sí, sobre eso es, entonces se los llevan bien temprano, llegan, practican y luego no los meten a jugar a los jugadores sobre el coach. Dice usted, hable con el coach, pero el coach en cuanto llega y echa su política de que no quiere a los papás que vengan a hablar con él y vengan y le digan nada. Entonces, en este caso, ¿qué se hace?
See, okay. If you want a conversation with a coach, you're definitely entitled to that. And if the coach is denying that, I can set that up. It's not a problem. Okay.
¿Quién
Yes.
me puede dar la información del supervisor del coach? ¿Quién es el más después?
Me. I'm the supervisor. Yeah.
So, a ver si me puede dar su fono,
Make an appointment.
necesitamos un appointment con usted.
Okay. Fair enough.
Me imagino que don
After the
Juan,
meeting.
Yeah.
Carmen y yo.
Okay.
Yo ya hablé con él varias veces.
Oh,
Es muy buen coach. About coaching, he's good.
Yeah.
Pero I don't get why he picks kids to be in the team. He's not gonna make it play. He gets mad when they don't go to practices. If they got selected,
Yeah.
I mean, they should play. Otherwise, just move them on. I mean, you know what? You're not gonna play. Go to a different team or do something else. But don't count on them being there. If they're not there, he gets mad.
Yeah.
Why do he get mad? They're not gonna play. I mean, I think everybody's. If it's fair that everybody plays, that's what they got chosen for to be on the team. I mean, I've seen at least 5 or 6 kids that don't play. He gets his own team and they play all the time. Maybe they get tired, they put him out, he puts somebody else. But it can be the whole game, only those guys and nobody else. And I think the kids feel bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen the kids, I mean, like, oh, coach, I'm not gonna play. Oh, no. I got my own team right now. Don't worry. If I need you, I'll move you.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's fair for the kids.
So with as far as like the philosophy of the coach, that's not something that I'm gonna go in there and say you
Oh,
have
yeah.
to change your philosophy. If there's a security, a safety concern, absolutely, that's non-negotiable. But there are certain things that we do entrust our coaches to take action on, like playing time. Now, when it comes to a concern though, and wanting to address the concern with the coach, yeah, you have every right to do that, right? And so like I said, I can arrange a meeting, I have no problem doing that, so that you can ask your questions and the coach can give you
All those
responses.
questions I already asked him. He goes like, he won't have an answer. So, I mean, for me going back, talk to him again,
Yeah.
I mean, I see him every game. So I talk to him almost every game.
Yeah,
And it's like, no. I mean, I'm not down about his ability to coach. He's good. But I think he needs, even practicing, he doesn't, I've seen some other parents that actually got soccer teams on the outside next year.
Yeah.
They go, he should do that. He should do this other. He's not doing this. He's not talking. He's not motivating the kids to play.
yeah.
I mean, stuff like that. That I think he should move the kids a little more. I mean, get the confidence on the kids. Because if you lose the confidence on the kids, I mean, they're not gonna. Whenever they get put in to play, they're not gonna play good because they don't have the confidence on the coach. They're gonna say, you know, if I make a mistake, he's gonna pull me out. Why? You know what I'm saying? I mean, he doesn't get the confidence of the kids to play.
Okay, so not to put words in your mouth, but what I'm getting is that you're not satisfied with the coach,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, he has really because he's actually
And is
refereeing.
the boys coach,
Yeah, he's a
Coach Lopez?
Coach Lopez.
Is that football?
Okay, and then as a result, you want a meeting? What is it that you would like?
For me, I mean, I think I already talked to him a lot.
Mhm.
I mean, I think maybe it's up to you guys to talk to him and say, you know what, you gotta do something else. You gotta play the picture differently. I mean, say stuff like that. I mean,
Okay, all right.
I think
2 minutes? Okay, all right. Last thing here that was sent in was about soccer balls, right?
Yeah.
Other schools have. So each team gets a budget to work with. This year, the boys soccer, girls soccer, they got $500 each as a budget. One of the teams chose to buy soccer balls. The other team chose to buy other materials, which I have here, like nets. I think it was. Excuse me. Soccer scrimmage vests, saucer field cones, some purple ones, right? A ball pack soccer bag, again, scrimmage vest, pro snippers net. So the coach, again, in running his or her program, they get to decide what they want to use that money on, right? And so sometimes what happens is one year the coach will buy the balls. Next year, maybe they'll invest that money in something else, right? Because it is a limited budget. So those were the decisions that were made this year. So girls chose to purchase soccer balls. Boys soccer chose to purchase other materials. Okay.
So
Yes,
the
sir.
problem is the budget. I already talked to the coach again. Remember, you and me talked about doing a fundraise.
Yeah.
I talked to him about doing fundraise. He doesn't want a fundraise, so he doesn't have the funds to buy new soccer balls. The thing about the soccer ball was me. This is the third game.
Yeah.
I see the opposite school putting out their own balls on home games
Yeah.
because our balls are a shame. I mean, they're used. And now the other school actually they're not supposed to provide the balls because it's a home game.
Right.
And they actually provide the balls. I mean, if it's about budget, I already told him about fundraising. He doesn't want to do that.
Okay.
So what can we do?
So I can bring up these concerns with Coach Lopez. I can set up a meeting with him, right? Bring up these concerns to see what he has to say. Okay? Okay. Last question.
Okay, I wanted to know why sometimes the school closed the gate here for after school? So can we come and pick up our students at
Yesterday was closed.
4:30?
This one out here?
Yes.
Yeah, that was different. That got reported to me, and I don't know why that should never be closed after school.
Yes.
That should always be
It
accessible.
was closed yesterday.
But yesterday it was closed, right? So,
Did they open it back at the afternoon? Maybe they have something on the theater. Did they open it again?
but even if they do, it still shouldn't be. So I apologize about that, but that should never be closed.
I only see, for this school year, only yesterday. So I
Okay.
don't know what-
Yeah, no, that was an anomaly. That should never.
And what about the parent parking lot?
Yes.
The parent parking lot, the custodians just told me it's under construction, and so some welders are working on that, and they have a bunch of materials laid out. And so when he told me that, I don't want to take the risk of your cars getting damaged or somebody getting hurt, but that's temporary. So it's under construction right now.
So the school year.
No, not for the whole school year. It's not indefinitely, but
Mr. Salazar,
Okay.
thank you.
thank you. Thank you for your questions.
Thank you.
Thank you very